to our third and the final technical session, which is one of the most awaited, that is on ITC controversial issues regarding the input tax credit. And to enlighten us on this, the highly practical and litigation oriented subject, we have our beloved mentor, Akka R, which I call as our chief, Shri Sushil Verma sir. So request you to please come on. And for this session, I request Shri Sudhir Chigge sir and Dr. Rakesh Kumar ji as a session chairman to please grace on the dais. Let's have a huge round of applause. Sir, the podium is all yours.
I think with possibility of time, I may not use PPT at all. We are going to talk about input tax credit. The most controversial topic was GST regime. Where it is available, where not available, we all know section 16 and section 17. I would only say, whenever you start writing on GST mechanism or input tax credit, you have to always keep in mind, notwithstanding what authors write in the books, because this ITC mechanism keeps changing with every judgment we hear from High Courts and Supreme Court. So if you read an author's commentary written 2 years back, it is redundant, it has no value. Therefore, keep buying Rakesh Garg book every 6 months if you want to do litigation in GST. I see many people reading old books, nothing wrong in that, but law is an evolving concept. It's not a static concept, it changes. Section 16(1) gives you only when are you eligible to claim input tax credit. Restrictive taxation wise, goods to be bought in the course of furtherance of business. Otherwise, that is not available to you. 16(2) gives you what I phrase as formal conditions, rather preconditions to claim input tax credit. And one of them is 16(2)(c). We will focus only on this clause, not other clauses. That the supplier should have paid tax to the government by utilizing eligible input tax credit. Now this phrase has huge value in law. Most of us in our day-to-day practice ignore this. When you read 92G of Daily VAT Act, it was tax should have been paid to the government. Now they have introduced a second collateral condition that tax should have been paid in cash, so no problem. If the supplier has to pay through setting off input tax credit, he should be settling in through eligible input tax credit. So the word eligible is not superfluous here. It has tremendous meaning. That is why section 155, when you link with 16(2)(c), says that the onus is upon you to prove you are entitled to claim input tax credit. So when are you entitled? Other than formal condition of 16(1), 16(1) is the main law. 16(2), 3, 4, 5 all are machinery provision according to me. They lay down certain formal conditions. When we talk of formal condition, Supreme Court has said that theory of substantial compliance can come into play. That is the distinction between a substantive law and law which is procedural. In terms of procedure, substantial compliance can work. But when you come to a condition like 16(2)(c), which is the genesis of claiming input tax credit, is a very serious thing. So when you read 16(2)(c), be careful, not only the seller should have paid the tax, it is couched in past perfect tense. When you give an interpretation of this phrase in grammatically, it means you have to prove that before you claim he had paid the tax. How? In cash, or he used eligible input tax credit. That is, if your supplier's input tax credit is under question, he was dealing with bogus paper, whatever they call. I'm not getting into the controversy. Then your ITC is put in jeopardy. You will not be given. We have many judgments. We keep quoting Arise India, Shanti Kiran, Ecom Gill. In GST mechanism, Clause 16(2)(c, in my view, which is upheld by Gujarat High Court also now, they have no relevance. Because they were not dealing with a provision like 16(2)(c. So when you read a judgment and call out the ratio of the judgment, we have to be careful what that judgment was giving interpretation of. So what we do, we pick up one paragraph, start jumping like a cow, we won the case. No. So Shanti Kiran, Ecom Gill, Arise India, Gherumal, or Dibankar Roadlands, or whatever Supreme Court judgments you have, they are dealing with a particular specific issue. There is no judgment of Supreme Court in any law till today where they have said that you will get input tax credit for these things you will not get. So for example, when I was reading his article, Dr. Naveen's, which of course he got the best prize, ITC is blocked in 17(5)(c). We have so many advanced rulings, so many high courts, Odisha High Court. Then we got Safari. Supreme Court gave nothing. They just wrote some principles. ये हो सकता है, income tax judgment relevant. Now they all quoted Hotel Taj Mahal, theatre cases, Anand theatre cases, which we thought were relevant for this mechanism. Supreme Court said no. They were dealing with a different law. Not relevant. So they came out a theory of functionality test. They gave a theory of, not directly, indirectly, कि अगर भाई आपको सर्विस पे टैक्स देते हो तो इनपुट क्यों नहीं देते हैं? They also tried to redefine what is for the purpose of your own business. But what did they do? Nothing. They remanded the matter. That demand has not come out so far. So what happened? For last 7 years, when you were dealing with the question of real estate, because I work in real estate only, so I know this law a little better, there is no specific guideline. So when this latest judgment of Gujarat High Court came, this we will discuss today, Maruti Enterprises. Gujarat High Court was dealing with many applications. Okay, what is this 16(2)(c)? They came out with 3 propositions. 2 were discussed in many other High Court judgments indirectly, but they came out with section 53. He says, court says when you are dealing with a state-specific law is different. So once you are dealing a pan-India or pan-international law, things are different. State is entitled to ST portion. So when you are dealing with IGST, that is in Bombay dealer charges IGST on a transaction, when the place of delivery is Delhi, the tax has to be transferred to Delhi. So he says in Bombay, if the fellow didn't pay tax, what tax will they transfer to Delhi? They say it's not possible. Then they said 16(2)(c). Why should you reverse input tax? Is given in section 41. Earlier section 41 were dealing with an ITC which was provisional. Now that amendment is finished. They say you are supposed to reverse. Then the court section 49, rule 37. He said the input tax credit is not denied to you. You reverse if there is an allegation. If supplier pays, you claim back. So Maruti Enterprises, discussing all these judgments, they refused to write down 16(2)(c). They said this is constitutionally valid. There's nothing wrong. Whereas earlier 2-3 high courts tried to read it down. Not clearly, but they gave some hints. But Maruti Enterprises judgment, which I concur with as a lawyer, they said no. Now 16(2)(c) is relevant. So first, for those 18 writ petitions, they decided this issue whether this ultra vires is a constitution or intra vires is a constitution. They said we hold on this. Now we will hear your merits. In last 2 or 3 paragraphs, they gave some hints, a silver lining, some leverage to the taxpayers. They said, is there any finding by the law authorities that the recipient knew that supply is a fraud? That is, did you do the bona fide check of your supplier? So they are giving you hints. If you want relief, prove this. What will happen on merits, we don't know. So what happened in Maruti? Maruti is the final frontier now, which Supreme Court has to test whenever they file SLP. Rakesh was talking of interlocutory applications. COA, a very small thing in GSTAT. I would say all our bar associations, including DGST, we will become part in Supreme Court to argue this matter. I'm telling you from this podium. We will become party in this. How can we pass this kind of a law? What happens, most of the associations, most of the lawyers, they do not know the Supreme Court to become a party. We are hearing so many SLPs in Supreme Court where interveners have come on and they have been allowed. Yeah, you come. SIR case, we know many people have joined. Even a guy like Yogendra Yadav is also arguing the matter. Mamata Banerjee is also arguing, though she doesn't hold an advocacy license. After Chief Minister, you have to surrender. When you come to Maruti, the scheme is very limited. Whether we are dealing with a fake invoices, non-existent dealer, bogus transaction, fake billing, collusion, circular trading. So whatever 6-7 components you have this input tax mechanism, you have to, no, I cannot finish in 5 minutes. I've spoken for 4 minutes. I'm seeing the watch. I can veto. So, when you see these 7-8 nuisances in GST mechanism, it's not going to stop. So, whenever you are trying to decide a litigation strategy, be careful if the principles laid down in Maruti flow from your legal provisions. That is the scheme of GST. If you go back to Bharti Airtel judgment, they told Mr. Salve, your arguments are flimsy. You have been doing this in earlier service tax regime. How can you say that you were depending on some reports? So, from Bharti Airtel, whenever I have lectured, I always call Bharti Airtel. Okay, GST mechanism is different. Now, how do you counter Maruti? The silver lining given by Maruti Enterprise in Gujarat High Court is, did you know? Can the department prove you are aware the supplier is fraudulent? Now, supposing against Ashir Verma, there are reports that this fellow is a chore, you are still buying bills from him. The knowledge can be imputed to you. You have no case. If there is a section 67 search upon you, they find that you have been dealing with this person even in the past. So you cannot say you didn't have knowledge. There is an Evidence Act called Section 6. It's a very popular section in Evidence Act. It's laid down as the English law calls theory of res gestae. This says the circumstantial evidence can impact your final order. Condonation में मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट है वो डॉक्टर एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता सर्टिफिकेट तो है आपके पास so can you get a relief? Answer is no. So when investigation takes place, that is before they issue a show cause notice to you, they are investigating. The proceedings have been initiated. You have to continue to have subject to proof that you did not know these parties at all. Now supposing I am recording your statement under section 70. कि जी आप इनको कैसे जानते थे, हमें तो पता नहीं, ब्रोकर आया था नारायण वाला, हम तो उनके थ्रू माल लेते. This shows you did not do your bona fide checking properly. Therefore, you have to blame for yourself. For your own negligence, you cannot take premium. A question was put up on the DGS group by Mr. D.K. Sabharwal, he is not there today. Can section 76 help? So when you go to the interplay of 16(2)(c and section 76, both stand on completely different footings. 16(2)(c lays down preconditions. 76 does not lay down preconditions. But the paradox is section 76 has a non-obstante clause, notwithstanding anything. So can we say section 76 will override 16(2)(c? So what is section 76? It says department is duty bound to recover the tax from the supplier. In nutshell, I am not quoting exact language. And it further says if tax is recovered from supplier, it will be given to the person who bore the tax element. So what does it mean? Is section 76 does not lay down preconditions that department has to first recover and then tax you. So Maruti Enterprises indirectly discussed this, not section 76 directly, but they said you have a right to recover from the department if they later on recover the tax. But 76 does not help you. So whenever you have a problem, always move an application under section 76. Stating therein, this is a litigation strategy which helps you in high courts. Okay, what happens, sir? You have a right to recover from him. But no high court has stayed the recovery of this issue. Because section 76 operates on a different platform. It deals with recovery. It doesn't deal with eligibility and claim of input tax credit. So when you appreciate the interplay of 16(2)(c and 76, you have to keep in mind 16(2) lays down preconditions. That lays down that you are eligible to ITC under these circumstances. Section 76 operates after you file the returns. What tax कौन देगा कौन नहीं देगा. But it's a good strategy to move a strong application that this man exists. I can give you addresses, I can give you his phone number, I can give you all the partners' addresses, you recover from them. But there is no stoppage that revenue cannot tax you. The only advantage of section 76 is it does not give, like section 73 and 74 or 74A, any limitation period. Show cause notice can be issued to you even after 10 years of 73-74 order. The only condition is the order has to be passed after show cause notice within 1 year. So keep this in mind. I wish we had more time. Keep this in mind that Maruti Enterprises is highly pro-revenue judgment. Since no other judgment distinguished Shanti Kiran Ecom arise in here, so this judgment carries much more weight than any other judgment. So whenever you quote Maruti judgment, be careful that in Delhi it only has a persuasive value, it's not binding. There is no Article 141 on High Court's judgments. So you can always give an answer, this is a persuasive value. We have 4 other judgments. Continue to quote Ecom Gill, continue to quote Shanti Kiran. But they also operate under specific circumstances. They are not panacea for your ITC litigation. Their role is very limited. But documentation, your bona fides, your emails, your correspondence, your payments, your communication with supplier, the physical receipts, the transport records, the eBay bills, all documents that can help you prove that the transactions were genuine. Genesis of a transaction is the first parameter of law. Everything else is collateral to prove this genesis of transaction. If your transaction fails, you may have any document. F form है हमारे पास, C form है. अरे सेंट्रल सेल कैसे की, ये तो सेंट्रल सेक्रेटरी हुई नहीं तो C4 की क्या रुकत है? So therefore don't jump tax and wise bank payment bill, ecom bill has rubbish stamp ke they are not relevant. So you continue to prove that you physically received the goods pursuant to a bona fide transaction. So Maruti bill says bona fide transaction, right? So this is interplay of Maruti, Chief of Supreme Court judgment, section 76. Thank you so much.